Hey there, my name is Suze. I'm the founder of the Rockstar Advocate, and I'm here today to teach you a few tips on how to stay productive even when you may not feel like it, or even if you're having kind of a crummy day. So first off, just a little bit of background about me so you know who you're talking to today. So my name is Suzanne Paulinski. I've been in the music business almost 20 years now. I started at the major labels at Atlantic Record and EMI, and I left the major labels after a very short period of time, after immediately getting very serious burnout. And I took a few years to try to start up a couple different businesses, wasn't quite working, but I still also was attacking work the wrong way. I was avoiding sleep, I was hustling and grinding, and I was doing all of the things that I thought I had to do to attain success. But what I was doing was quickly wearing out my body, and a good 8 to 10 years later, I actually got Lyme disease, chronic Lyme disease, and it knocked me out. And it wasn't until then that I really learned how to use my energy in an effective and intentional way. And it was right at that moment that I started the Rockstar Advocate, and I was full-time with this business in 6 months by working smarter, not harder. I know you hear that phrase a lot, but we don't often really know what it means. But really, it's just about using your focus and energy in an intentional way rather than just scurrying around trying to be busy rather than productive. So I really want to take a moment to thank Equilibrium for having me. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of these EQ sessions. I love talking with this audience. You guys always have such great energy and such willingness to learn new things. So I hope you'll stay with me today and let me know what you've learned and what you're going to try out for a more productive day. So be sure to leave your comments there so I can talk along with you and we can all be productive together, right? So first things first, I'm going to begin today's lesson by doing a tapping exercise. Tapping, don't worry, I'm not going to start dancing. When I say tapping, you might also know it as EFT, or Emotional Freedom Technique. And it was started by Gary Craig in the 1990s, and it uses a mixture of acupuncture with a little bit of, I guess I would call them almost mantras that you would say to literally rewire your thinking in your brain to get away from the negative thoughts. We want to acknowledge them, but then we want to rewire them and think more positively and productively about certain things so that we can decrease the anxiety, decrease all the overwhelm and ongoing thoughts in our head, and kind of bring everything down a little bit and really focus in on what matters. So you can use tapping for working on your money mindset, to just deal with anxiety in general, talk through something that's really bringing you a lot of angst about a situation, maybe, going back out into the world after lockdown and networking with people in a public space for the first time. That might bring up anxiety for you. Tapping can help with that. It also can help with just getting more focused for the day and getting rid of that perfection paralysis or that comparison syndrome that we all fall into when we scroll on social media. So I like to do it daily. You could do it for 3 to 10 minutes. You could do it longer. And so I'm going to go into details all about that. And then I'm going to give you 3 tips for having and keeping a more productive day so that you can continue the momentum far after watching this video. So I hope you'll stick with me, enjoy, and let's get started. So with EFT, don't be surprised if you get emotional during this. It's okay. Sometimes you might cry during this process. That's okay too. And also know that there's no really right way to do it. I will give you some scripts and some prompts that you can do to say and repeat, but if they don't feel aligned for you, say whatever feels authentic for you. There's really no wrong thing to say. It just matters that it feels true for you. And what I'm about to walk you through, we're going to do 3 cycles. The first cycle is going to acknowledge all of the negative feelings we might feel around productivity. And the second cycle we're going to go through is more of accepting who we are and knowing that it's okay, we don't have to be perfect, and putting more of a positive spin on how we can be productive today. And then the third and final cycle we'll be once again reinforcing those positive thoughts around productivity and giving ourselves permission to not be perfect about it and to just focus on getting things done and moving forward towards reaching our goals. So as I walk you through it, remember to breathe. Okay, if you're starting to feel tense, and I'll also be prompting you to take deep breaths here and there, but if you feel you need a deeper breath at some point, please feel free to take it. You don't have to do this standing up. You can do it sitting down. You can do it lying down if you want, whatever feels good for you. And also, I encourage you to speak out loud. It's more effective when you actually speak the words aloud because it brings in more of your senses. It helps your brain process what your feelings are. Now we're going to start to use whatever hands feel more natural for you. It doesn't matter if you do the right hand for tapping or the left. It's totally up to you. So we're going to start here, the karate chop point on your hand. So we're just going to start tapping. Take a deep breath in. Let it out. You can repeat after me or repeat or say anything that feels good for you. I'm feeling a lot of pressure to be productive today, but I choose to love and accept myself anyway. I have a lot on my plate, and I don't want to get any of it wrong. But I still choose to love and accept myself. Okay, now we're going to move on to right above the eyebrow. You're going to take 2 fingers on each hand, and right above both eyebrows, just going to tap. Take another deep breath in, let it out. There's just so much pressure at work, and I don't want to screw anything up. Now we're going to move to the side of the eye, the temple area. And I want my team and anyone I work with to do well, and I don't want to hold anybody back. But I'm feeling really overwhelmed, and I can't seem to get started. Now we're going to move to the under eye. I know that it's not about being perfect, but sometimes I feel so much pressure to be perfect. Now we're just going to take one hand under the nose, right here between the lips and the nose. And I know that I put the pressure on myself to be perfect. But I choose to let that go today and accept exactly who I am. Now we're going to move under the chin, right here. It may not be perfect, but I know I'm going to do my best. Now we're going to take both hands again and on the collarbone. Another deep breath in. Breathe out. And I know I'll do my best, but I worry that my best isn't enough. And that keeps me from getting started. Now we're going to move under one arm. Just tap under the arm on the side of your body right here. I've accomplished other things before and done a good job, and I need to trust that I can do a good job this time, but I still feel really anxious about it. Now you're going to move to the top of the head, just with one hand. You can close your eyes if you like. Breathe out again. I know I'm really anxious, but I'm choosing to let go of perfectionism for today and just do my best. Now we're going to go back to the top of the eyebrow. And now we're going to think about more positive thoughts about productivity. I know that it's more important to get things done and move closer to my goals rather than to get them done perfectly. Side of the eye. I also know that if I make a mistake, I can learn from it and do better. Under the eye. All of this pressure that I put on myself is only keeping me from reaching my goals. I am capable, and I know I can get this done. Under the nose. It's also okay to ask for help, and I'll make sure I will if I need to. Under the chin. I'm not in this alone, and I don't have to do it all by myself. I'm going to move to the collarbone. I know that my work doesn't reflect my value as a person. And no matter what, I choose to love and accept myself. Now we're going to go under the arm. I believe in myself, and I'm going to do the very best I can, and that will be enough. Top of the head. And right here and right now, I choose to let go and accept myself. Now we go back to the brow line. I can break down the task to make it more manageable. I can also delegate to others or use tools that I have at my disposal to help me get this done. Under the eye, I am capable of doing a great job with this task. Under the nose, and I choose to let go of my perfectionism so that I can get it done and reach my goal. Under the chin, being productive is not about being perfect. And I know I can be productive. My collarbone, I not only know I can be productive, I choose to be productive. Because I know I am capable and I will get it done. Under the arm, all that perfectionism just slows me down, and it doesn't serve my goal. Top of the head, and no matter the outcome, I know it doesn't reflect on who I am as a person, and I choose production and productivity over perfectionism. All right, shake it out a bit. Now you might feel some tingles. You might have tensed up a little bit and needed to take some deeper breaths during that session, because a lot of us carry so much pressure on ourselves to be perfect. We're not perfect, and that's okay. This stuff is messy. Life is messy, and the best we can do is give ourselves permission to be a little messy, to get it done, to learn from our mistakes, and to know that we showed up the best we could, the best version of ourselves based on who we are in that given day. You might only be able to give 30%. Maybe you're going through a really hard time right now, but show up with that 30% and do the best you can. All right? I got that from The 4 Agreements, one of my very favorite books. I highly recommend it. It's a short read. And now I want to go into my 3 productivity tips, even if you're not quite feeling super productive today. So the first tip, and you might have heard me mention this during the tapping, was to break things down. Sometimes we get paralyzed by what's on our to-do list because it's vague. And as human beings, just like any other animal, we avoid things that we don't really know, right? If you see something and you're unsure about what it is, you walk away from it. Same thing with things on our to-do list. If it's so vague, if it's just do a YouTube video, post a video on my YouTube channel, that just seems super vague and we don't know what to do with that. And it's not what we would call a SMART goal, right? Like specific, time-bound, measurable, all of those things. So you want to break that down. What does that mean? Post a YouTube video. So you might have to choose a topic. Write a script if you need to. Set up your lighting and camera situation. You might have to figure out what tags you're going to use or what title you're going to have on the channel. Outline the talking points or what you want this video to do. If you have other people in the video, you might have to coordinate with them and get a filming schedule together. You might have to create some social media posts to promote it. You might have to write the caption and figure out what other links and other information need to be in the caption. So I'm just rattling off things. I'm already up to 8 what we would call micro tasks. So break things down into digestible, specific tasks that you can really wrap your brain around and sink your teeth into so you can take action. Now, if you're really having a rough day, if you're really not feeling it, continue to break it down so minutely. So, for example, if you're lying in bed and you're just not feeling it and you barely have any energy, maybe you're also dealing with a chronic illness and it's just taking its toll on you today. What I want you to do, and you can write it down or you can just say it to yourself in your head. Okay, first thing, I have to sit up. Second thing, I have to put my feet on the floor. Third, I have to stand up. Fourth is I have to make my way to my desk. Fifth is I have to open up my laptop or turn on my computer. Just like they say in Finding Nemo, just keep swimming, just keep swimming. Just get to the very next step. Okay, another thing you can do to be productive if you've broken things down and you still feel like, man, now I'm just dragging my feet on it, is to write things on your to-do list that you've already done. Now, if you're just starting off the day, and you're like, Suze, I just woke up, I haven't done anything. What will I know I do, such as I know I'll go to the bathroom, or I know I'll put some food in my system, or I know I'll drink some water. If you already know you're going to do those things without any doubts, write them on your list and then cross them off to get yourself feeling like, all right, those are already going to be happening, let's do it, and then go do them. So whatever helps you start to feel some momentum, don't underestimate even the smallest tasks can really feel like you're gaining some momentum. So celebrate those small wins. Okay, that's really what the second tip is. So the first tip is break things down into micro tasks. The second tip is to celebrate the small wins. Don't overlook the little things that you've done, because you know what? Sometimes it's the little things that really give us the biggest momentum. So celebrate those small wins. And the third is to time yourself. If you're looking to, let's say you have to write a newsletter, give yourself a realistic amount of time. Don't give yourself too much time, because this is when Parkinson's law comes into play. Now, Parkinson's law tells us that work will expand to fill the time we give it. So if you give yourself a reasonable amount of time, don't say, 5 minutes and I'll get it done. Give yourself a reasonable amount of time. I like to work in like 20 to 25 minute chunks. Set a timer and just write. Just go. Just pick a topic, think about what you want to say, and just go. And if you don't know what you want to say, put on some focus music and just let stream of consciousness come out. When you time yourself on a task, it actually will start to focus you and help you get it done. It can turn it into a bit of a game, and you can use it as a little bit of an accountability buddy. So set an alarm for yourself and really stick with it. When that alarm goes off, stop where you're at. Reassess where you're at, walk away from it, and then come back with the intention of finishing it before you move on to the next thing. So just to reiterate my 3 tips, number 1, break things down. Number 2 is celebrate your small wins. No matter how small, celebrate them. And number 3 is set a timer. All right? I hope you guys have found that helpful. I have a lot of free resources at therockstaradvocate.com. I always have free trainings available on my homepage. Go check that out. You'll also see in the menu bar some free resources. You can check those out as well. And if you have any questions, just send me a DM on Instagram at rockstaradvo, and I'll be more than happy to answer any of your questions. So thank you so much for being here with me. Equilibrium, thank you for having me in your EQ sessions, and I'll see you guys next time.